give me your answer too. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage, I can't afford a carriage, but you'll look... Hello, Cubanwriter here with Darklingfae.
Hello.
And today we went to the theater to see a movie of epic proportions.
What movie was that?
It was called Chips.
And did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it about as much as a root canal, maybe a little more.
So here's the real test. Was it as good or worse than the first episode of Iron Fist?
Oh.
That's a
Wow.
litmus test at this point, so.
I guess if I had to watch one of those again, I would watch Chips again instead of the first episode of Iron Fist.
Okay, so it's not as bad as the first episode of Iron Fist.
But it was not as good as Power Rangers, which we saw yesterday.
Yeah, well, you chose this movie, so all the blame is going on you. So
You gave me...
You picked it. I picked Power Rangers.
You can't disown this mess.
Oh, I can. I just did.
Well, in case any of you are unaware, in the 1970s to early 80s, there was a television show about the California Highway Patrol, and it was called Chips. And this movie is an attempt to milk the nostalgic legacy of Chips. But I don't think Chips ever had a loyal enough following that you're going to get old Chips fans in there to see Chips. And I don't think new people care about Chips, so I'm not sure who they were angling this for.
Well, I had honestly gone into this movie thinking it would be kind of a parody. I thought it would be kind of mocking, in a way, that kind of nostalgic TV show that I didn't watch when I was a kid. I didn't get to watch a lot of TV actually when I was a kid. I knew about the show but never watched it. But you know, you're kind of getting that lately, like the revival of like 80s and 90s type of shows and films. And I thought maybe it'd be like that, kind of like those scary movies or making fun of horror movies. I thought you'd kind of get some of that enjoyment out of it. You don't. Spoiler alert. No. I will say there was a bright spot. I did enjoy something of the film. I liked the bad guy. I feel like that actor does a really good job. You liked him in Daredevil.
Yes.
He was the big bad in Daredevil. And
Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays Kingpin on Daredevil, did his best to elevate his role. I applaud him for the effort. I think he did as good with that as you could do. In fact, I don't really blame any of the actors for what went wrong here. I think it was entirely due to the terrible writing.
well, you can blame an actor for that because Dax Shepard wrote this and started it. So.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I
Well,
think he also directed it too.
did he?
Yeah.
May this be the final nail in the coffin of his directing career and screenwriting career.
Well, I don't know because we liked the one that he did where he was in witness protection. I can't remember the name of the film offhand. I think it was like Hit and Run or something like that. He was in witness protection program. His wife also starred in it. She was dating him. She had a interview across country.
Oh, I think I remember that. They had some special vehicle they were driving around.
Yeah, and it was actually that was a really good film. So that was another reason why I was looking forward to this because I had enjoyed his past endeavor where he wrote and directed and his wife also starred in it. I had really thought that was a bright spot. This one, not so much.
No, his career is definitely on the decline with this one. This was supposed to be a comedy, first of all. I think they did mean it as a parody, but it didn't really work as a parody because it wasn't doing enough to make fun of the original Chips. As a comedy, it didn't work because I think I had one chuckle every 20 minutes roundabout, and that's really a low chuckle to time of film ratio.
And I would say it wasn't like you were laughing because you genuinely thought the material was funny. You were more like laughing like, I can't believe I'm still in here watching this type thing. It wasn't so much like, oh, that was a funny joke. I really think the main problem of this particular movie that it had was that it didn't know if it wanted to be PG-13 or R. So I felt like it kind of had a schizophrenic identity. Sometimes you felt like they were trying to go for more of a PG-13, and then other times they were trying to go for R, and it just didn't mesh together. It's like do one or the other, but trying to do both, it didn't work.
Well, you see, I think they decided to be R, but it was arbitrary. It was like, okay, we're going to be R, so we need a certain amount of dick jokes. We need a certain amount of jokes about taking a dump. We need a certain amount of jokes about masturbation. And we need a certain quota of tits and ass. And we're going to jam that in here, whether it suits the movie or not. And the rest of the movie, yeah, you're right. If you took out all that stuff, the movie didn't need to be rated R to tell the story it wanted to tell.
I really feel like, and even most of like the so-called dick jokes and all of that type of stuff, you could have still done with a PG-13 rating. I really feel like the couple of flashes of boobs you got, and then here's a big spoiler, which I don't think is going to be a big deal, because quite honestly, I don't think anyone is going to see this movie, nor should you, was the decapitation of the guy on the motorcycle. And when the one character's fingers get blown off.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's really where the R rating's coming from, with that type of gratuitous.
Well, don't forget all the breasts that they.
No, and I said other than that, the boob pics here and there. That was really the only R thing that needed to be. Otherwise, the jokes, like the whole dick jokes and different things like that, really were done in such like a PG-13, like a 13-year-old prepubescent boy type humor, but it just didn't even get that type of humor. It just was bad all around. The premise of it was bad. The writing didn't make sense. The whole plot, all of it was just not enjoyable. It wasn't the parody I was hoping it would be. It was kind of a disappointment. It really did not, like I said, other than Vincent's portrayal of a bad guy, and I just enjoy that actor, there really isn't anything positive that one can really say about the movie.
Yeah, I'd say if you want masturbation jokes in your film, see the Power Rangers, where they make a joke about, spoiler alert, they make a joke about masturbating a bull. And it's a better joke than, I think, any of the masturbatory jokes in this film.
Yeah, it just didn't feel real. And the really odd thing about it, too, is that a lot of these actors are really good friends in real life, but I didn't get any of that kind of chemistry, even though it was supposed to be a buddy movie and, about two guys who become friends. You never really believed any of the chemistry. You never kind of... nothing ever felt genuine in here. It just... everything felt forced from the beginning to the end of it. It wasn't good.
No, it really wasn't. So, what grade? I know we did stars before, but let's mix it up and give it a letter grade.
Oh.
What grade would you give this?
Really, it was better than episode 1 of Iron Fist.
But
that's my litmus test for really badness or not.
Is that going to be our grading system moving forward?
It really is so far, because we haven't seen anything so far lately that's worse than that. So,
well, I'm sure
better than Netflix.
I'm sure sometime in history we've seen something worse than the first episode of Iron Fist.
I, for the life of me, guys, cannot think of what that is.
Well,
can you?
I can, but I can't remember the name of the film. It was that cowboy film where the intestines rolled out.
And by the way, that really was your pick.
That was my pick. It's the worst movie I've ever picked, I think. I wish I could remember the name of it so I could warn you all not to see it. But there's this scene where the guy's intestines fall out, and it looks like a butcher's sausage supply was just purchased up and rolled out.
You really just feel like, oh, I should go to the butcher shop lately. It wasn't anything realistic.
Oh, well. Thank you all for listening, and please don't go see this movie.
No, don't. Save your money. Don't even rent it. You're not missing out on anything. there are a lot better things that all of these actors have done, and you should go watch that stuff instead.
So this is Cubanwriter signing off.
Goodbye, darling.
See you all next time.
But you'll look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for two. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer due.